Hey, thanks for tuning in to Unfair Sports. While you're here, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. Appreciate it. Okay. Oh boy. I don't know what's going on, but the Chargers look like they're really going all in with this Justin Herbert situation. And I think this is the perfect time to do it. They went out, traded for Khalil Mack, talked about that this past weekend. And then they added another piece, J.C. Jackson, corner from the New England Patriots. And they're paying him some moolah to come out there and play alongside all those other defensive studs that they have in Los Angeles. And so my question for you, Jimmy, is twofold. One, are the Chargers trying to assembling the best defense in the NFL with all of these pieces they have? And two, is it smart for them to go after it the way they are right now?
I think, it is smart because I think with this monumental quarterback and this record-breaking offense in Kansas City, the only way to compete against them is to go all in. The only way to compete is to get aggressive. Now, part of why they're spending this money on defense, what that tells you is that they know they can't outscore them. No matter how good Justin Herbert is, or how many Pro Bowls Austin Eckler goes to, or how many catches Keenan Allen has, they will not be able to keep up with this Kansas City offense as long as they have Andy Reid, Eric Bieniemy, and that big trio that they have on offense. So they think, okay, can we hold them at bay? Can we give ourselves an extra possession? The only way to do that, as with any other quarterback, is primarily through pressure. So getting Khalil Mack allows them to get Joey Bosa and D-tackle, I think, Linval Joseph in one-on-one matchups, which is what you want when you have elite pass rushers. Then if that doesn't work, you want J.C. Jackson on the backside of that in the secondary to pick off passes. I think he's had something like 25 picks in his first 4 seasons, which is insane, which is up there with some of the best cornerbacks to ever play this game. And then you have Derwin James, who was healthy for the majority of all season, was so happy to see Derwin James back, one of the best safeties, maybe the best safety in the game, roaming the field, being the quarterback on the field. So, they understand the time is now. Brandon Staley, just how he is, oftentimes to a fault on the field with how aggressive he is, especially on 4th down. They're taking that mentality and that approach into free agency, and that's the only way they're ever going to be able to truly compete with the Chiefs. Hell, they're just trying to get to the playoffs. Justin Herbert has not been to the playoffs yet.
Right.
So they're trying to do that, knowing that they're going to meet Kansas City. You face them twice a year anyway. You're right there with them, but they're still going to be better than you when it counts the most. So I love this aggression by the Chargers organization, and I think that they may have just assembled the best, at least on paper, defense in the AFC, and that this could put them over the top and put them ahead of Kansas City.
So I got to disagree with you on the notion that they don't think they can outscore teams. I think what it is they recognize the secret sauce to winning a Super Bowl, outside of the fact that you got to have a good defense. You're in the AFC West, which has now Russell Wilson on top of Patrick Mahomes and I guess Derek Carr counts. Does he count? He counts, doesn't he? He does count. Yeah, I guess he counts. I like Derek Carr. He counts. But what they see is Herbert is still on the rookie deal. So they can spend money on everybody else and assemble a strong defensive piece. Because, as much as we like to praise Tom Brady, and we've all praised him before and talk about how great he is, taking those pay cuts, him not taking the full max he could take every single time is the reason why the Patriots are able to win so much. They could pay on defense. They kept adding defensive players. They got guys to protect. They protect their quarterback, and they go get your quarterback. And the Chargers are seeing that we have a small window. We've got 2 years before Herbert starts eating up our cap space. And so we've got to go ahead and do this now. The thing for Kansas City, what helps them is they locked up a boy, Mahomes, early. They're going to start feeling pitfalls this year.
Yep.
But once that cap jumps next year, dude's already locked up for another 5 years. No renegotiations for the most part. Hey, man, we're already paying you 40-something a year, 50-something a year. We good. We're going to keep this the way it is. And so I think it's very smart that the Chargers are going after the money. They're after the defense. They're adding pieces. They've added a corner that can be on an island. like you said, 25 interceptions since he came in the league in 2018. He is considered Mr. INT. He does a great job with that. And it's something to help take some of the pressure off of that linebacker corps. Even though I love Kenneth
Mm,
Murray, for some reason, those linebackers were not that good last year. They could not stop the
mhm.
run for some reason. And it was easy to go away from Joey Bosa. So now they can't do that with Khalil Mack, Bosa, the linebackers growing because they're still young, and then adding that secondary. I can totally see. And I think they still have Chris Harris Jr. as well, if I'm correct, at corner.
He
I'm not sure if he's a
might be
free
in
agent or
free
not.
agency. Yeah,
I'm not
he
sure
would
if he's a
just be
free agent
icing
or
on the
not.
cake
I
if
have to
they do.
look. That was the only thing I didn't look at is if he's a free agent yet.
Yeah. But I want to point something out real quick. I think we're thinking too small when it comes to this just being about Kansas City because let's say that regular season or let's say in the playoffs you face Kansas City. Let's say you get over that hump. In the AFC, before you get to them or even after you get to them, who are you looking at? You're looking at Josh Allen. You're looking at Chase and Lamar. You're looking at Joe Burrow, who just went to a Super Bowl. You're looking at a better Baker Mayfield and a better Cleveland Browns team. And I'm missing another AFC quarterback. There are AFC quarterbacks all
Josh
over the
Allen.
conference that they're gonna have to face. So this move, I mean, it's bigger than Brown. Like it's just bigger. It's bigger than Patrick Mahomes in the Chiefs. This is an AFC altering move. So this is not just about Kansas City.
I think it's about. No, it's not about just Kansas City. It's about the AFC West. You just got Russell
Oh,
Wilson added.
Russell,
You
exactly.
got Russell Wilson, Patrick Mahomes, and Derek Carr. When he's good, he's good. So you got to
Yep.
get out of the division first. And I think that I agree. This is a big picture view, most likely. But right now, their focus is let's get out of our division first because they have the division with the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Period.
Hmm.
They have the
I
quarterback
agree.
wise, they're the best division. So they've
I
won
agree.
that battle. And so because of that, you got to find a way to compete. So the last one to me, speaking of quarterbacks, there's a signature that I'm trying to figure out what the hell the thought was. But at the same time, I kind of get it. I've heard a few people defend this person, and I guess there could be something depending on how it plays out. So the Pittsburgh Steelers, Mitchell Trubisky just announced that he's going to be signing with the Steelers, a 2-year deal. I don't see the numbers on him. I haven't seen any numbers yet, but it looks like Trubisky has agreed to sign with them come next week. They're probably hashing out the details, but he's going to be a Steeler and he's going to be their starting quarterback because he's going to beat out Haskins. He's easily going to beat out Mason Rudolph. And we're going to see Mitchell Trubisky try again in Pittsburgh. So, Jimmy, was that a good move by the Steelers?
I think it's the move that they were most comfortable with. I think it was a move of deduction because I think they looked at the Deshaun Watson situation and especially what they would have to give up in terms of draft capital and said we're uncomfortable with that. They looked at Jimmy Garoppolo and his no-look interceptions and said, okay, we're uncomfortable with that. So they went through all these quarterbacks outside of the ones who had gotten signed. And what they were left over with, the remainder, the product of this math equation was Mitchell Trubisky. So they're thinking, all right, we bring in Trubisky. He's going to compete against Mason Rudolph. He's going to win. He's going to be decent this season. We maybe don't like the quarterback draft this year. So we know that Tomlin doesn't have losing seasons. We'll still be competitive. And then after that, maybe next season, we will look at getting our quarterback of the next 10 to 12 years. So I think that in a sense, this is Pittsburgh slightly mailing it in at the quarterback position this year and looking towards next season. That's the only way this makes sense to me.
Yeah, and the problem that Pittsburgh has is that Tomlin has never had a losing season there. He's either
Mm-hmm.
tied or better. And so that means that they're not going to get a top quarterback draft pick. They're not going to get a top 5 pick unless they can
Yeah,
find a way to
true.
trade something out. So this could be them throwing in the towel, but I don't see them having a losing season. That's the biggest problem. So for them, it's going to have to come down to they either see somebody in next year's draft they like, or they're going to draft somebody in this year's draft and they're going to be their project. They're going to build around that
Right.
quarterback and create their future with them.
Okay, there you go.
It could be
That's
Malik
it right
Willis,
there.
quarterback out of
Right.
Liberty. It could be Malik. It
That's
could
right.
be, I mean, Kenny Pickett. Honestly, to me, could potentially start in this league. Desmond Riddler. I like him. His maturity. I like his ability. If you put the right pieces around him, I think he could do some
Mm-hmm.
things. So they may, and because there's a lot of older quarterbacks besides Malik in this draft, that may be the thought process. I haven't really read anything about the Steelers making the
Mm-hmm.
choice of of what they're actually going to do with a quarterback, who they're truly going after. Like I said, the Watson
Mhm.
piece is probably too expensive, and it's also drama, and it's also super ironic that they would go after Deshaun Watson after having been Roethlisberger at quarterback. If you
No, that might
understand the
make them feel
reference,
right at
you
home,
understand
Jay.
the reference, huh?
That might make them feel right at home. Like,
Well,
we dealt with
that's the
this sort of
problem is
thing
that they
before.
probably recognize that, like, oh, we probably should not feel comfortable with this. We probably need to move out of this house. And since they're going to move out
Yeah.
of that said house, that's where the reason why I didn't see that one happening. But yeah, Trubisky, and like I said, I've listened to people defend him. He wasn't god awful. Like, he did
Mhm.
good with that Bears season when he became a Pro Bowler, and they
Yeah.
won like what 12 games that season. He looked like he had some competence, but he's a quarterback that you can't allow to do everything on his own. He's one that you got to put in a system. And I think honestly, I think he's a little bit opposite of a Baker Mayfield, where you probably need to let him do more impromptus. I think you got to keep the training wheels on Trubisky to make him make the right decisions, or you can start running his butt like they do Josh Allen and start leveraging that size and speed. I mean, he ain't slow. We've seen the
Mhm.
athleticism. Why y'all holding that
Right.
man back? Why y'all denying him the opportunity to go out there and be the best man he possibly could be? Don't you dare stereotype
Right.
that man. You let him go out there and run them them reads, them draws. Let him go. Unleash the Trubisky. But at the same
So
time, he got Najee Harris
you've
too.
already
So
ordered your Trubisky jersey from Lids, is that right?
no, I did not. You won't
Oh,
catch
no.
me. No,
Okay.
no, 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 no. I'm not gonna do that to
Ah.
myself at all. So yeah, we're gonna move on from that one, sir.